Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a good morning. This pre-recorded will be dropped 5:30 today. I hope you guys are having a blessed day, blessed weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania Backlash. No one tells you today, I love you. I'm here for you. God loves you. Christ loves you as well. If you want to talk to me about anything, if you're a wrestler or just somebody passing by, my inbox is available on my platforms. Before we go on, I want to tell you everything I have going on right now. Is in May 28th at in Appleton at the American Legion. A Made to Remember. You do not want to miss that. Show starts at 5. Very good wrestling company. I'm proud to be a part of. Also, my company, June 18th, Kingdom Come. Got a lot of. We finalized the match card. Gonna go through it real quick. We have the C3 Urban Culture Championship, Aaron Stone versus Jackson P. Larkin. Hot feud, a mystery tag team going against Legit for the tag titles. We have myself against Cassidy Keith, going to be match of the year candidate in my opinion. We got Marcelo Spade versus Mike Valentine. Two guys that are trying to still make a name and their footing in C3 Ultimate Wrestling. We have the three-way women's match with KO Kendra versus Renee Van Peebles versus Vega Venom. You do not want to miss this action. We also have the main event, Miles Mercer versus Just Amazing for the C3 Ultimate Championship. This is a match I've been looking forward to since last year. Also hosted by Kevin Young Sr., a.k.a. Yellow Pill Coffee Company on YouTube, Kevin Young Sr. on Facebook. Check him out on his socials. Now, going into it, let's talk about why criticism is needed in wrestling and why it is not always a bad thing. I think the issue is when you criticize something or you're against something that you post about or you say as far as wrestling is concerned. A lot of people say that you're toxic. You know, you just don't want somebody to be great. Just watch wrestling. I don't like that statement. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be ignorant and be like, there's not toxic people. There's not somebody that says, oh, okay, I'm going to complain about this. And then when something happens that you like, you're still going to complain about it. I'm not like that. I'm not like that person that say, like, if I say I don't like company A and then you respond, well, company B does this. My thing is, I observe both of them, right? So when one person says, oh, okay, well, I like this company over this company, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, both do the same thing. You know, sometimes it's just a difference. Sometimes it's people that you like, whether it's a storyline, wrestling move, or a segment or anything like that. You know, I'm not one of those guys to be like, hey, if you like company A, you shouldn't like company B, or you don't know what real wrestling is, or company B or company A. One of those is more catered towards wrestling fans, which I think is kind of crazy because you do have people who are fans of company A and like devoted, but it doesn't mean that because you watch wrestling on other platforms doesn't really mean you're like a better wrestler. You may have more meanings of access to be more of a wrestling fan than anything. So that's how I feel. You know, I've already made a live about why I don't really obsess with toxicity because it's stupid and it's no point. And sometimes people don't even know they toxic because they try so hard to prove a point that they're immune to their own toxicity, just like snakes and bugs and frogs and stuff like that. Like you can hit people with it and you can kill them, but you're so absorbed in your own venom and toxicity that you don't even care. You're immune to it, so it doesn't bother you. So, but going into it, as a wrestler, when I started training, somebody had to be critical on certain things that I did. Somebody had to give me criticism. Even now, I get criticism. I welcome it. Sometimes I agree. Sometimes I don't agree with it. But sometimes, most of the time, it's from a good place. It's not from a bad place. When I was a youngin' in the game, I sucked with punches. I couldn't do a punch to save my life. And it was like, drop your fist. And I never dropped my fist. Or they look soft because I just didn't want to pull back like I was supposed to. That was one of my biggest things that I struggled with in wrestling or whatever like that. And a lot of people were critical of it. I didn't take it as being irritated. If it was anything, I was irritated with myself because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And it's like, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. Running the ropes, certain bumps. Like some people, it takes a longer time for them to process, for them to even get used to that kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? Those kind of things happen. Criticism. That's one of those things. If my trainer or if people who wanted the best for me or people who were told to do something regardless if they liked it or not, they didn't tell me that, I wouldn't be I probably wouldn't be as great as I am now. Going home, practicing, even going outside in the front yard, like literally with my wife and my brother-in-law. Well, both of my brother-in-laws, we would literally go outside and practice certain moves and stuff like that because, leapfrogs, holding up for suplexes and stuff like that. We literally had our shirts dirty. I remember that because I wanted to be better. I wanted to be decent. You get what I'm saying? I wanted to be proud of myself. I wanted to work on my punches. I wanted to do that stuff. So now I do think I do a lot better than what I do. I don't hear any complaints or anything like that. Now, as a person who has seen people after me go to the same trainer and either other companies I've seen train and stuff like that, I've seen people try to be critical with the person and then the person like takes it as a sign of disrespect. How dare you talk to me? They don't say it like this, but you can tell, oh, well, hey, you're bumping incorrectly. You could hurt yourself or you can hurt your opponent. Oh, well, I do it like this because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's like, sometimes you're saying that and it's not even, you're taking it as a sign of disrespect when we should all try to be safe when we do this in this form of art, if you will. And you can hurt someone and then people are telling you need to do it like this and you need to do it like that. Don't get me wrong. You have people that can do very good with innovating certain things and doing things a certain way. But sometimes if everyone, and the thing is, it's an assumption with training is that everyone trains the same way, but it doesn't happen that way. Some people bump differently. They were told to not tuck your head when you're doing a hip toss. I don't know who taught y'all that. Always tuck your head because the person might not do it for you. You have to understand that. And if you're a wrestler, you know what I'm talking about. Body slams, guard the head. If not, tuck your own head in. Certain people should tell you these kind of things. And if your trainer isn't saying that, you may need a new trainer. Safety first, guys. But going back into the topic, that's a form of criticism that is needed. That's constructive criticism. You're building and stuff like that. But nowadays, everyone has a platform and wants to get on here and wants to say, oh, well, people are holding me back. I'll show you. You'll see. Sean Stasiak. And it's just like, it's not like that. Some people actually want what's best for you. And they want you to do it the safe way. And when you don't do it the safe way, it's going to always be a problem. And there's not a lot of people who do wrestle for a long time. They don't come back and say, hey, I was hot-headed. There's only a few that say that. And that's the thing that you have to be careful with, is that some people aren't trying to get on you or hate on you. It's just that they had it hard too as wrestlers as well. And they had to be built up through constructive criticism as well. And I think that so many people take everything to heart and not to practice. See, I like that one. When you take everything to heart, not to practice, then you don't get better. You struggle. I'm sorry that I'm checking on something real quick. But you don't take it to practice. Don't take it to heart. Take it to practice. You have to bump correctly. You have to do things right. You have to do certain things. And people get mad, and you don't need to do that. So that's on a wrestling standpoint, or even a booker or promoter. Sometimes people talk to them and stuff like that. And sometimes I listen, and I'm not saying I don't listen, but like it depends on how you say it, honestly. And there are a lot of people that like do give pointers sometimes and stuff like that. And I listen and sometimes I don't, because Some want the best, and sometimes people do want to talk. And that is hard to differentiate sometimes because a lot of people want to be heard, but everybody talks. You get what I'm saying? That's 100% facts. Criticism on, let's say, company A and company B, AEW, WWE, right? Um, if I sit here and I say, okay, I didn't like Sammy Guevara's ladder match or whatever like that, that does not mean I don't like Sammy Guevara. That does not mean I don't like the ladder. Doesn't mean I don't like the company or anything like that. Some people do not like every match that is on every show. You may have a favorite show and you might not like every match that's on that company. That is okay. So if I tell you, oh, I don't like this because ABCD, and then you get mad and then you're like, well, basically they made it and you didn't. That's not, I'm not saying it from a hating standpoint. So why are you coming at me from with a hating standpoint? Hey, if I was this, I would do something different. I would make this stick to the ribs a little bit more, if you will. I would take this away and I would add that. That's not really hating. And you have a lot of people, especially in the wrestling community. It's funny because a lot of people love WWE 2K and they love that they brought back the general manager mode. A lot of people love to be general managers in leagues and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Matt and Juice with Dreamscape Wrestling. Check that out on No Call Entertainment. Shout out to you guys. But a lot of people do these things. They do fantasy bookings. A lot of people fantasy general managers and stuff like that. A lot of people, the wrestling community is big in the gaming community with 2K, and even before that with SmackDown versus Raw and stuff like that. Like they're very big on wrestling and stuff like that. So general manager mode, and even in football games and stuff like that. I remember they tried to do their own game. It didn't work. It didn't really sell that well. But going back to it, a lot of people have ways they would do it. So a video game is an outlet for them to actually do that kind of thing. And some people, they upload TV shows and they get a lot of views and stuff like that. Sometimes if I don't see a match live, I try to click it and find it on YouTube, and it's clickbait because as soon as you click it, it's somebody emulating the match that happened. Curse you guys for doing that. But that's just how big the community is, because even then somebody's going to sit there and be like, oh, it's a game, I might as well watch it. Oh, it looks like the real thing, or let me just look at that. Let me subscribe to them because they're doing something creative. So criticism is not always a bad thing, because sometimes you can use your criticism to motivate. You can motivate yourself. You can make your own company. You can do your own thing. You can do it by video game, or you can make it a reality. You know, C3 Ultimate Wrestling is a reality, and I'm thankful for all the fans and all the wrestlers and all the people who supported me. Also, I'm thankful for the people that praise for my company. I'm thankful for the people that pray for me and my wife and everything like that. Like C3 Ultimate Wrestling was a product of, hey man, I can do something very different. And instead of sitting there trying to tear down companies, because when you tear down companies, sometimes you tear down the wrestlers there as well. And that's never a good thing, because I'm cool with a lot of people. So I can't just sit here and say everybody on this company sucks. I wouldn't do that, because you have potential and you also have people that I started in the company with. So when I have my own company with my wife that we do things for the community and we do things family oriented, I'm just showing people that I can do it myself. And I thank God that God has put me in a financial situation, a great financial situation, to where I can do these kind of things and I can take care of my wrestlers and things like that. And I try to push them to be the best they can be if they're not already there yet. You get what I'm saying? With promos and being an individual and stuff like that. You know, I try to do things I try to show. I rather show than talk. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's so easy to say if I did this and I did that. You know, a lot of people saying if I had a company, you know, and like I said, I'm blessed that I have a company that I can show. And I've rarely had any complaints about the company, about the show, about the product and everything like that. So I'm happy with that. So that's what I'm saying. Criticism is not always bad. Sometimes, like I said, criticism can motivate you to do something. You know, you probably have people that started wrestling because they didn't like the product that they saw on TV and was like, you know what, I can do it. And if I did it, I'll do it better than what's going on. And they'll use that criticism to actually be better. You get what I'm saying? To push themselves and stuff like that. And sometimes criticism is it can be a positive criticism. Oh, that's a great match. I'm really going to go practice now and stuff like that. I can't wait to face this person and things like that. It's not always handshakes and lollipops when it comes to criticism. It's not. But sometimes it is. Hey man, that was great, man. You are a great wrestler. You don't even need to work on much. And that's what a lot of wrestlers try to strive for. And that's a good thing. And even if something is wrong, sometimes companies or bookers or promoters, they look at what the fans say and they give them what they want. Tony Khan, I'm not going to sit here and say he gives the fans everything they want, but at the same time, he's very active on social media and he responds, and sometimes he tells people what they want, or he listens, or he says, I'll consider it, or things like that. Seems like he's very accessible. And then like even yesterday, right? With Edge's demonic faction Judgment Day, a lot of people, they wanted not just Priest in it, but they also wanted Rhea Ripley and Ciampa in it. So Rhea, who we kind of figured was going to be in it as soon as we seen them shoes, she had a hoodie on with some like platform Hot Topic shoes, and we knew who it was before she pulled the hood off. So they gave you what you wanted. And I don't think, and maybe they were going to plan it. I don't think so. I think that they probably did listen. Somebody who was in the social media market of WWE, they probably listened to that part and say, hey, you know what? She's not doing much of nothing, so let's just put her in Judgment Day. So that's the kind of things that work out for people, because people are talking about it. It's covered. People are making videos about it. People are already making fan art with Edge, Priest, Ripley, and Ciampa. And we'll see what else goes on with that. So criticism can help. Criticism works. Criticism can help build a company. Criticism could also give you millions of dollars as a wrestling company. Criticism can also bring fans in here more to your product. I'm not saying you have to give everything that they ask for, answer to their every beck and call, but sometimes they can help. Hey, this company is for us because they listen to us and they give us what we want and stuff like that. Now, me as an observer and a wrestler and a promoter and a booker, both those companies give me what I want sometimes, and sometimes they don't. And somebody who goes to my show, or people who watch it on YouTube, subscribe to both channels, Taking On Podcast and Stick to the Ultimate Wrestling, I might not give them what they want all the time. It happens, whether it's booking somebody through me doing storylines or them being, booked, or booking somebody they may not like. It happens. It really does happen. But criticism can really help people. It can make people get better and stuff like that. You see shows like Young Rock, and you show that his dad was showing him how to bump and do this and that, and you have to consistently do it to get better, so you become natural at it. Bumping is something that people do not like doing, but you have to do it for safety, and you have to protect yourself and the other person, to the point to where if you're very good at it, it's natural. Wrestling is already opinionated, especially when it comes to companies versus this company or anything like that. So it's not like a bad thing for somebody to criticize. Now, there are some people you shouldn't listen to because they are toxic and they do spread evilness. And like I said before, I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. And that's not even just wrestling. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts that go on. I listen to like ones that like talk about God and like spirituality and certain things and exposing a whole bunch of demonic stuff that I try to stray away from. But other than that, like with wrestling or with people just talking, I just don't like it because I feel like it's not natural. Sometimes people stir the pot. WWE does a lot of things that they need to work on. And sometimes they don't, because they're the number one company. They don't have to change anything because they're the number one company. And I feel like they're going to be there for a long time, unfortunately. AEW has the potential to do it and take them away. Not take them away, but overcome. But at the same time, they are doing what they want to do. So when something actually good happens, people make videos about it being bad. Watch them screw this up, or it's too late, or they copied my idea. And in AEW as well. Oh, I don't like the Young Bucks. And then you watch a Young Buck match, and then the Young Bucks do Young Buck stuff, and then you get mad because the Young Bucks did what Young Bucks did. That dang when there was a tongue twist. But at the same time, if that's what they want to do, they're not going to change that. And if you buy a ticket or if you buy a pay-per-view hoping they're going to do something different, they're probably not. That's what got them money. That's what got them the bread and butter from Texas Roadhouse. The cinnamon butter with the bread. Ooh, I'm hungry. But anyway, that's the kind of things that I try to stay away from. Just being negative just to be negative. Don't obsess with that. You get what I'm saying? Criticism. I was Chris Classic. Now I'm Classic Alpha. I'm only Chris Classic when I do podcasting. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I changed because I looked at stuff. I was critical of matches. I'm still critical of matches and stuff like that. I look at stuff. Oh man, this could have been better. This could have been better. Oh, this was nice. I feel like WrestleMania Backlash was a pretty good pay-per-view for what it was. Just a lot of rematches, except the main event and Madcap versus Happy Corbin. But it was a solid show. Like, it was a very solid show. I felt with Cody and Seth, they show you how to work. They show storytelling. Like, even with Seth doing the Dusty punches and stuff like that. That was pretty dope. That was pretty good. Storytelling and stuff like that. Hey, your dad wasn't a champ. You won't be a champ. And Cody has to fight. And then how he ended the match. Oh, I'm going to one-up you. And then even Omos and Bobby Lashley. I thought that match was a little bit better. It was a longer than what the WrestleMania match was, but it was good. Ronda and Charlotte blew it out the water this time. Maybe because they didn't have to follow another women's match or anything like that, but they blew it out the water. The only match I didn't really see was Madcap and Happy because I was charging my phone. But that main event, that main event was crazy. That was a good main event. I'm usually not a fan of six-man tags because of clusters and stuff like that, but they really planned that out pretty good, and it was good. But that was my criticism on it. Some people said it was trash. Some people said it was a waste of time. Some people were upset because they wanted the tag titles to be unified. And that's cool. I understand that. They started off saying that they were going to unify them at WrestleMania Backlash. Then all of a sudden, Drew and Roman got into the situation. But it was a good match. Overall, the wrestling was very on point to me, honestly. So that's just me. But going into it, as I'm about to head on out, hopefully I can work out before my little baby wake up. Criticism is needed in wrestling. All of it is not bad. All of it is not good. Sometimes criticism can make you better than what you are now. Sometimes it's how you take it, how you take notes, how you practice, regardless if it's wrestling, running a company, running a podcast, talking to people, interviewing people and stuff like that. Criticism is not always bad. I'll leave that with you guys. Before I head out, make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast on YouTube. I'm over 100 now. Thank God for that. Check out C3 Ultimate Wrestling on YouTube. Also, check out our website, C3 Ultimate Wrestling. I just updated that yesterday. You can find me and add me on Facebook, Chris Classic Williams. And you can check me out on Twitch as I'm still trying to figure out what to do with that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful and a blessed day. This is a pre-recorded, so I will not be reading the lives. Maybe afterwards. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.